this happened, then that happened. Okay. So nonetheless, it joins two phrases or clauses that there's some type of connection. If they're just
Connection
completely
or relations.
Yeah, if they're completely random, okay. I haven't made my coffee yet. I'm going to the supermarket. Okay, so there's no connection there, right? Okay. So there has to be some type of a connection between the first clause and the last clause. Okay.
If I'm according to my thinking, it's like in first clause, it's a kind of action and then
Yeah.
a reaction,
Exactly.
cause and effect.
Cause and effect. Wow, you read my mind. Just as you were saying that, I wrote down cause and effect. Yes. And so nonetheless just joins cause and effect. Okay. I was really tired when I woke up this morning. Nonetheless, I logged on to this to my time slot on a London English Academy, English Practice Academy. Right. Okay. So they're connected. Okay. The cause is I stayed up late last night. The effect is that I'm sleepy, but nonetheless, it was my time slot and I didn't want to lose my time slot. Okay. So yes. So you're absolutely correct. It is a cause and effect thing. And we're joining two clauses that have some type of connection. Okay. So
What is the exact meaning? Like, if I'm thinking like its exact meaning or familiar meaning, like as well or not at all, like word.
Exact meaning, a lot of words in English don't actually even have a real meaning. They just have a practical use. Okay, so nonetheless, you never say it by itself, right? I mean, never, right? Okay, you have to have the cause and then you have to have the effect, the action, right?
Effect.
So these are called transitional or really filler words, right? They have a purpose, but really no meaning. Yeah. So that's again another good question. So there's real, I mean, I think probably a dictionary will give you some type of a meaning, but really it has a purpose. Okay. So it's joining two clauses.
Joining two clauses.
Yeah. Nobody ever says nonetheless by itself because it has no meaning. Right? If somebody says, okay, so this is an example. Okay. So it was raining today, nonetheless. Okay, so then people are waiting to see what happens. Are you going to stay home or are you going to go out? Right? It cannot actually exist by itself. Okay, its purpose is to join two ideas or two clauses, and it has really no meaning because words. See,
it's a kind of a conjunction word, like and or.
Yes, but whatsoever, however, all these words really have no meaning. They have a use. They have a purpose.
And one more word is adequate.
Yes, I have a question.
Adequate. Adequate.
Oh, adequate. Okay.
Adequate.
Yeah.
And
adequate.
How to pronounce? I think I mispronounced this word.
Right. Okay. So the pronunciation is adequate. Okay.
Adequate.
Adequate. So this is the pronunciation, adequate. Adequate. Yeah, and the stress is on the first syllable. Okay, adequate. And that means it's not really good and it's not really bad. It's just right. Okay. The answers, I hope that the answers that I'm giving you this morning are adequate. Okay. So they're not, coming from a professor at the university, really complicated explanations, and they're not coming for someone who really doesn't understand the question. Okay. So if something is adequate, it's just right. Okay.
Right.
The
Okay.
food on my fridge was adequate. Okay, it wasn't full, it wasn't empty, it was adequate, right? Or the effort or the motivation that I had to do the task was adequate. It wasn't really, really high, it wasn't really low.
Real.
It's in the middle. That's how you say it. Adequate. Yes.
So today we are almost mostly in a middle ground.
Okay. So again, very good questions. All right. Does anybody else have any questions about Canada? And then we can, continue on with conversational idioms this week. So I've got a good website that I will post to the WhatsApp group, and it's from Oxford International, which is a very good website. So I do pick, the best websites for you.
Ma'am, if I'm saying adequate is like enough or satisfactory.
Yeah, satisfactory. That's exactly right. It's not, above,
No,
not below.
not yeah, not excellent or not below.
Exactly. So adequate or satisfactory or not excellent. Okay. They're in the middle, and sometimes, being in the middle is perfectly fine, right? Being in the middle is perfectly fine. Okay. So yeah. Okay. Again, another good question. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about my country, Canada, before we switch into our essential idioms? Because we have 30 to cover this week. And sometimes we do run out of time because we have other discussions, which is, perfectly good, because I really teach functional and practical English. Right? Any questions about Canada? Any other questions about Canada? Okay. All right. So let's take a look at 30. Okay, we won't do 30 today, obviously, Tuesday and Thursday, right? Okay. So the first one is break the ice. Break the ice, meaning to start a conversation or make people feel more comfortable. For example, to break the ice at the party, I said hello to the person next to me. Okay. So I break the ice, and other teachers break the ice every single class, right? Because we have returning students, we have new students, and we want them to be comfortable with our class, and we want them to learn something. So I break the ice by having introductions. Okay, I break the ice by asking whether people have any questions about English or they have questions about my country. Okay, I break the ice by talking to returning students. Okay, like David, right? So he told us in the last 5 minutes, I give people the open mic so they can tell a story or something like that. So there's different ways to break the ice, but it's informal English, okay? And you break the ice in person or like on Zoom, right? Okay. So if you're just writing an email, you don't have to break the ice, because that's not expected. And emails generally are more formal English, and you're writing to and you're writing to somebody who already knows you. So you don't have to break the ice. But when you go to a party, you have to break the ice. When you're talking to a group or like a class like me, okay, and so you have to break the ice. And people have different ways.
Teacher.
Yeah.
Yes, teacher. I also have one question.
Okay.
What's the meaning of social cohesion?
Social
Cohesion.
Social cohesion.
Ah, social cohesion.
cohesion.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to write it down here. Okay, social cohesion. All right. Wow, that's really a high level expression.
Yeah.
Social cohesion is that, and we've used this idiom before. We're all on the same page. Okay. So you are students who want to improve your English and become more confident English speakers, and I'm a trained and experienced English teacher to help you do that. So do we have social cohesion? Yes. Yes. Okay, because we are all on the same page. Okay, we are working together. All right, nobody's here to learn about, I don't know, how to be a welder or something like that, right? Okay, so nobody's here to apply for immigration, okay? Because I already told you a long time ago that I'm not an immigration lawyer and I don't work for the Canadian consulate, okay? So I can answer general questions, but you really have to, to talk to experts for specific information. So right now, it's an example of social cohesion, right? You've got teachers,
Iceberg.
So
you've got students,
Yeah.
right? And I was also going to mention that the whole break the ice thing. Okay, so break the ice is a verb, it's an action, but there is a noun called icebreakers. Okay, it has nothing to do with ice in a glass or anything, right? It's just methods that different people use to have the class, start well, right? So I find that if I have a question and answer period at the beginning of the class after introductions, that helps social cohesion, right? Because we're on the same page, right? And so I want the class to be casual and friendly, and so that you're learning. And I always learn something from every class too. It's not like teachers aren't learners. They are. And I'm continuing to study Spanish, for example. So I'm a learner as well. So I'm a language learner, but in my second language. Okay. So your second language or third language or whatever it is, because some people know more than two languages, is English, and you want to become a confident English speaker. So I'm here, and all the other volunteer teachers, are on the same page, and we'd use different icebreakers. Okay, that's fine. Every teacher has their own style. Okay, but right now it's an example of social cohesion. Okay, because we're all working towards getting better. Okay, I'm working towards getting to be a better teacher, and you're working towards being a more confident English speaker. And yes, that's why I always welcome questions, always, because not only do you learn from me, okay, you learn from each other. And when I go to Spanish school, I learn as much from other students as from the teacher, because they're also Spanish learners, right? Exactly. But another fantastic question: how social cohesion?
so ma'am, actually, I was thinking regarding the social cohesion. I was thought maybe it's a kind of a social dominance,
No,
but you correct me. I was wrong. It's a kind
no,
of a middle ground. If
yes,
people have a middle ground or same thinking, same approaching political ideology, so we can say that as a social cohesion.
yes, no, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Okay.
Goodness.
Like I'm not the expert in everything, obviously, right? Okay, so do I have training and experience? Yes, I can. Yes, I do. But I don't know what questions people are going to ask, right? I don't know that. I can't read anybody's mind, right? Okay. So as long as people are, respectful and ask, good questions, and there's no such thing as a dumb question. If some people think, oh no, I'm afraid to ask a question because the teacher or other students will think it's a dumb question. Wrong. No such thing as a dumb question. Okay. So if you don't know something and somebody else knows something, it's a good question. Okay. So we've had, I would say this has been like one of our best question and answer sessions, so far this month. Because sometimes nobody has a question. I'm thinking, what? Okay. But no, we've had some really good questions. So yes. So no, social cohesion is good. It's good. Right now, the United
Uh,
States has no social cohesion.
no,
With
social.
Trump, it's just
It's
conflict and authoritarianism and dominance, like you said. So
um,
it's the opposite of social cohesion. Okay. And that's with the bad president.
can I ask one bad word? Actually, I listen at the movie. There's a word F around. Maybe you understand what I mean in F. F around and find out.
Okay. F around. Okay. Well, that's using what's called bad language or swearing. So F around is short for fuck around. Okay. So lots of people don't say the word fuck because It's called the F-bomb, right? Okay, so it's considered a bad word. It's considered a word that's not, that you don't use in polite company. So instead of fuck around, they say F around. So what does it mean? It means that you're fooling around. You're not focused.
No, it's actually two words. It's two word, fuck around and find out.
Okay. Okay. Find out. Okay.
Mm.
F around. Well, okay. I would probably use in a slang situation, I would use scope, like scope out the answer or find out the answer. That would be equivalent. If you're using F around, you're basically not serious. It's not serious. You're not serious. But if you're scoping out an answer or you're researching an answer or you're finding out an answer, okay, it's serious. Okay. So overall,
Okay.
in my understanding, that would be my understanding. Okay. Other teachers could have different opinions. Okay. As we said, we have different styles. Okay, so really, really wonderful Q&A section. So it barely started, so we did talk about break the ice. Okay, that's good. Okay, the next one is cut corners, meaning to do something in the easiest or cheapest way after often badly. Okay, the company cut corners on safety to save money, which caused problems. Okay, so in the case of the Uber situation with David, Uber, by having these AI chatbots, right? They are cutting corners because it was easier to talk to a real person and solve a problem. Because I have had problems before. I was overcharged or double charged, or I didn't get all the things that I ordered, whatever. And it used to be easier to talk to a real person. It's harder. Same with banks now. Banks have chatbots and they're useless. They just keep running the same script over and over. And then you just have to keep insisting, are you a human agent? I need to talk to, not can I, but be insistent. I need to talk to a human agent. And then you actually will. So, but yes, it's a different world now with AI. And AI, we only had AI for about 5 years or something, but it's getting more and more annoying, if you ask me, especially when you are trying to solve a problem. Because when you actually get to a human person, they can solve it. Click, click, click. Okay. I had a problem just this morning. I made some kind of a mistake applying for a job at a teaching platform, and I was just going round and round and round. So then they got back to me and said, just give me your email address and we'll fix it. So fantastic. A human person is going to fix the problem, in 5 minutes. Whereas I spent about an hour trying to, unclick stuff and they just wouldn't let me do it. So they're, human agents and human teachers. Okay, you could learn English with an AI, teacher, right? But would it be as effective as with a real teacher or some of the wonderful teachers on this platform? I would say no, because maybe the AI chatbot teacher wouldn't understand your question. Whereas as a native speaker, I'm giving you my point of view. Okay. So correct. Okay. Again, a good question. So Uber, definitely cutting corners. They're using more, well, yeah, because you don't have to pay chatbots, right? You don't have to give them benefits. You don't have to give them vacation and holidays. So they are cutting corners to save money, but really they're also generating a lot of discontent with the users, as David has found out, right? Okay, so we were able to help him to a certain extent, but he's still, so it's 3 weeks later. So if David, I know that when you get to a human agent, that agent will be able to solve your problem in less than 10 minutes, probably 5, seriously. But they want you to give up, and they don't want, they want the chat bots to take over, and they're just useless in my opinion. Okay, so cut corners. So can anybody think of another example of when something has happened and somebody or some group is cutting corners and not doing, not even, this is like below adequate, below satisfactory, okay? So when the government can cut corners, cuts corners all the time, so then their service level drops below satisfactory, below adequate. Okay, can you think of another example for cut corners? Okay, all right. Okay, okay, so you can keep thinking about that. Okay, here's a good one. And I'm just watching the time here, so I do want to give people a chance to tell a story or a joke for the last 5 minutes of the class. Okay, so some of these we've actually done before. Piece of cake we've done before. We've done cost an arm and a leg. Okay, so here's a good one we have not done so far. Hit the nail on the head. Hit the nail on the head, meaning describe something exactly right. Example, you've hit the nail on the head with your idea about the problem. Okay, so when there's some kind of a complicated description, and then you cut through the noise and you're able to really zone in, focus on what's important, then the other person can say, wow, you really hit the nail on the head. Okay, all right. So just with Abdul's question there, okay, about
But sometimes, hello teacher.
yeah.
But sometimes also people say you nailed it, right?
Excuse
You
me,
can say you nailed it instead of say hit the nail on
what
the
is
head.
meaning of diplomat or
Yes. If you
All right.
nailed hit the nail on the head, same. Perfect. Yes. It means that it's understandable, it's not confusing, it's not complicated. Boo, you nailed it. Exactly. Okay, so let's just say you go to an interview, right? And you do really well. And then your friend said, you know, how'd you do on the interview? And you just said, I nailed it. Yeah. So that means that you made a really good impression and you pretty well expect a job offer. So that is true. Good one. Good one. Okay. Because yes, a lot of these idioms have different ways to say the same idiom using some of the same vocabulary, right? Like nail, right? Okay, so nailed is an action, and then also hit the nail on the head is an action. Okay, so that's great. Wonderful. That's really good class today. Okay, so all right. Bite off more than you can chew. Okay, this is a good one. All right, meaning to try to do more than you can manage. Okay, example, by agreeing to do 2 big projects at once, I bit off more than I could chew. So it has nothing to do with food, okay? Your boss has asked you to do, you know, too much work and not enough time, not enough money, okay? So your boss wants you to bite off more than you can chew. So it is a food idiom, but it actually has nothing to do with food. It just means you've got way too much to do, okay? So I'm moving on Saturday, so I still have this whole week to get ready. So I have not bit off more than I can chew because I still have 5 days. No, I guess 4 days now because it's Tuesday. Okay, so I still have 4 full days to get ready for my move. Okay, so, but when you bite off more than you can chew, you don't have enough time. You do not have enough time. Okay, or you don't have enough time to do a good job. Okay, so that happens. So, all right. Can anybody think of an example where they bit off more than they can chew, or somebody asks them to bite off more than they can chew? Any example, lifetime examples, real life examples? Is anybody a university student?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Me university student.
Okay, so sometimes maybe you take too many courses, right?
Yeah, to me, homework sometimes teachers, used to give a lot of, homework. So sometimes, a teacher give us more than we can choose. So this example just can come out from my mind right now. And sometimes you also say, I have a lot on my plate. Our teacher
Yeah,
gave us a lot on our plate. So
that's a
also
good,
could work out, I think.
and it means basically the same, right?
Right, right.
Each on your plate, or they want you to bite off more than you can chew. So both of them are very good food idioms, and they basically mean the same. Okay,
Right.
just like too much, ah.
Too much thing, yeah.
Too much work and not enough time. So
Yeah.
it's really true. Okay, so let's see what else here. Oh, here's a good one. Beat around the bush, meaning to avoid talking about what's important. Example, please stop beating around the bush and tell me what happened. Okay, so if you have a sensitive topic or a topic that you don't want to talk about, sometimes you talk around the subject. You don't talk about the subject that's important, right? Okay, so it really kind of bugs other people. It bothers other people. So you don't want to beat around the bush. If you have something important to say it.
Go direct. Yeah,
Go
it's
direct.
straight to the point. It's straight to the point. Yeah. Don't be beating around the bush. Just go straight to the point. I think everybody know this idiom.
Yes, yes. So go right to the point. Don't beat around the bush. Or here's one that comes from the movies. You might hear this one. And this one is an expression, not an idiom. Cut to the chase. Has anybody heard of this expression? Cut
Yes,
to the
I do.
Okay. It comes from a Clint Eastwood movie where there was a lot of car chases. Okay. So everybody's waiting because everybody loves car chases and action in movies, right? So if somebody said if you were beating around the bush and you're not getting to the point, you can tell your friend, okay, enough already. Cut to the chase and tell me what's important. Okay. So this is a reference to car chases in a movie from a long time ago, but it's still used. It's still used, in different settings. So if somebody's just like talking, okay, you say enough already. Stop. Okay. Don't beat around the bush. Cut to the chase. So they're talking about a car chase in a movie from, a long time ago, but it's still in use. It's still in use, and it means don't beat around the bush. Cut to the chase. Okay, so that's a good one to know. Okay, all right. So maybe one more, and then we can have tell our stories. Okay, so here's a good one. Kill two birds with one stone, meaning to solve two problems with one action. Example: by walking to work, I kill two birds with one stone. I save money and get exercise. So this is your kind of multitasking there. Okay, so if you kill two birds with one stone, you're actually has nothing to do with birds, nothing about dead birds or anything, but you are able to accomplish two things at once. Okay, so let's just say I ordered my Uber Eats, to arrive at the end of this class. Okay, so before this class, I ordered, and then when this class finishes, there's gonna be a knock on my door, and Uber Eats is going to bring me my breakfast. Okay, so I was able to order my breakfast and teach the class, and not separately, right? I'm killing two birds with one stone. At the end of my class, there's gonna be a knock on the door, and there's my breakfast. Okay, so we're killing two birds with one stone. Okay, so can you think of another example?
Multitasking.
Yeah. Pardon me? Okay, what was the, say that again, please?
I said it's a kind of a multitasking. When you're doing a multitasking, you can say like killing two birds in a one stone.
Exactly. So there's nothing about birds, nothing about dead birds. You're able to do two actions or even more actions. Okay, you could like kill many birds with one stone. I mean, it could be three different things that are happening, and that you're able to do at the same time. So it is a life skill, and it's positive. Okay, it's because it's efficient. So you're getting more than one thing accomplished, at the same time frame. So I'm not gonna, finish the class and then wait another half an hour for my Uber order. Okay, so I ordered, I'm having class, and then there's gonna be a knock on my door. Okay, so it's efficient.
Can you repeat again? Idiom bite off. I forget the sequence. Bite off and choose.
Yeah. Okay. Bite off more than, and it can be I or you. Okay. I think that you bit off more than you can chew, right? Or I bit off more than I can chew, right?
Okay.
Yes. So it can go either I or you. So bite off more than I can chew, or you bit off more than you can chew. So it can be, you could talk about yourself or you could talk about another person. Okay. Yeah. And like I say, I will post this website on the WhatsApp group, so you can take a look at the again, look at the idioms that we, or expressions that we covered today. Okay, so my battery is kind of low, so I hope I don't disappear here. But we do have 5 minutes for you. You have a chance to tell a story or tell a joke. We've had all kinds of things. So we've had, little stories, little anecdotes. We've had jokes. We've had knock jokes. We've had all kinds of things. Okay, so does anybody have a story that they would like to tell the class?
I have.
Okay.
Sorry,
Well,
go ahead. Maybe someone also asked.
okay. So, yeah. So you've asked quite a few questions, Abdul. So let's just see if anybody does have a story that we haven't heard from, and then if nobody does, slave driver. That's a funny Zoom meme, Oscar. Okay. So anybody new? Does anybody new have a story to tell us? Okay. Jamie, do you have a story for us? Seydu, Kawa, that was a good question about so I think was that you with the social cohesion? That was good. Okay. Christina always has a story to tell. Christina, tell us a story. Were you not there?
Teacher, I'm so sorry. It's just, like rushing from one place to another place. Maybe not today and Thursday.
That's
So,
okay.
sorry. But we heard all the expression and everything, all the slangs and, eating and things that is really useful. So I really appreciate it. Thank you for your commitment. Sorry for today.
That's
It's
okay.
being a little tiring
Okay.
day.
Okay, Abdul, the stage is yours. Okay, so tell us the
Okay.
story. I don't.
So it's a kind of sentence. It's a joke I took from a PK Blender season. There's a brother. They are sitting. Maybe some people may be offended. Uh, it's not a kind of a misogynist joke, but the brothers are sitting, and the one brother fell in love with some woman, and the brother saying, "Brother, you know what dad said? Uh, fast woman, slow horse will ruin your life."
Okay. All right. Yeah. It's a little. It's what's known as a little off color. Okay. All right. You talked about off. Okay. So it's a little bit off color. Okay. So it's funny. I mean, I laughed, right? Okay. So it's called an off color joke. Okay. Because as you, some people might not think it's funny. Okay. But
Yeah.
I don't mind.
Maybe they're offended.
Yeah. Because there's something called politically correct now, and it's really hard for comedians to tell jokes these days because somebody is going to be offended, right? But no. So I would say it's a bit off color, but I laughed, So I understand the joke. I understand that it's just a little bit off color, but I still laughed, Okay. So I'm not offended. And
so before telling me, I also mentioned maybe some people think it's a kind of a misogynist joke, but there's a question and debate also in societies. It's also questioning by Charlie Chaplin. How can you love the people? How can you love the people without stigmatize the people, without mocking or racism? So it's a very difficult thing. There's an only way left. You can love the people, self-mimicry. Otherwise, when you joke, someone must be offended and someone must be happy or fun.
Right. Exactly. Okay. So I'm really running out of battery here. So if I disappear, wow, I'm down to 3%. Okay. So I think I actually have to kind of wrap up. I usually go over
Okay.
class, as Christina knows. I usually go over class, but just because I didn't plug my device in early enough, I am going to have to say goodbye. And I will post the website that I used, so you can take another look at the idioms and expressions that we use. Really great class, really interesting topics, like, wow, social cohesion. that one kind of surprised me. So thank you for that question. Okay. So my name is Teacher Joanne, and I teach Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. We'll continue with essential English idioms, and this week we're doing conversation questions. Okay. All right. So thank you very much for joining. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, teacher Joanne.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Now.
Bye.